So,
I'm
would you
gonna
guys?
get up. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. I was about to ask.
Now we get to have one-on-one time with Martin.
Hey, Martin, how's it going?
What's up?
Hello.
How are your bakery goods?
I don't have any.
No, I had bakery goods. We went to a bakery this morning.
What?
Yeah, yum 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 yum.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I had a croissant sandwich.
That's staying in. That's gonna be the cold open, actually.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that.
Okay, go.
All right, you guys are the super. Are you ready to play?
Yes.
Yeah.
Turn this goofy music off, though.
This is the. I don't know what you're talking about. This is what's
opening-
always. This is what's always playing
It does not.
on in the temple.
That is not true. This is never played in the temple.
It plays on repeat. No, like in the game, in the temple itself, in the statue of Praetor there that you can see. There's a little
Bluetooth
MP3
speaker.
player that just plays the same thing. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that is not what happens, but okay.
You
I
don't know what
mean,
it has.
who are you to say, loser?
I was there. I've been in the temple every time the rest of us have.
And every time I've said, you walk in and there's some crazy funky music playing out of Paylor's ass, and you ignore me every time.
I really don't want to have to go through every video and cut that in sequence now to prove you wrong. So I guess
You don't
you're
have
just
to-
right.
You don't have to do that.
I guess you win
Yeah,
because I don't want to
I'm
do
just
that.
right. I'm just right.
Yeah.
Hey, Ben, you good?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Okay. How's this? Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope so. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Okay. So, last we left, Lily and Lena were flying and spinning in the air in front of you all, and Lily had 6 new tails.
Really soft foxtails.
Really soft foxtails. Yep. And everyone's just kind of standing incredulously. After successfully getting back to this temple, successfully doing a treasure heist out of the back room without alerting anybody to the fact that you were transporting, hundreds of pounds of treasure through the forest. You also learned that the Silver Flame is hunting for a dragon. One that you can assume is the one that stands before you now as your buddy Yen Ben. And that's where you're at.
Okay.
So, Yen Ben's just kind of standing there looking up at the two of them, just kind of... What? Again, speechless. You've seen him becoming speechless a lot more recently, and it's, it's not something that you're used to, but I guess you could be becoming more used to this now.
I'm concerned about that. Honestly.
You keep surprising him.
I don't like that.
It's even worse now knowing that he's a dragon.
Yeah.
You've been around for how many years and you don't know what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that's not.
Did Lena just ask that?
No.
You're up there. You've been around for how many years? You
No.
fucker. You piece of shit dragon. Suck my ass. Hashtag Lena.
Wow.
No.
So, anyway.
Well, I'm
That was-
busy flying with Lily.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just gonna wait for them to fall to the ground, because I'm not gonna try to catch them again.
Okay. Yeah, after it actually isn't as long as the first time when Lena, you accidentally cast the fly spell on Lily. You were up there for about 10 minutes, but this time you start to come down pretty quickly, actually. The effects seem different than what happened last time. The power starts to fade, and you start dropping to the ground. And it's not fast. You might be able to, get the impression that Lily is lowering you to the ground,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's a bit of an awkward landing, but you both land on the ground right there in front of Yenben. And Timmy Tim's still watching from the back.
Well, that went better than the last time.
Yeah, I guess. And she looks at Lena and like her tails kind of fluffle around her, and she says, "Are these permanent now?"
I have no idea.
She looks at Yenben and says, "Are these permanent now?" And he says, "I'd like to say I have no idea, because it would be in tune with the comedic timing, but in fact I believe they would be permanent. If I'm not mistaken, this seems to be the same type of physical sign of your interaction with the wild magic, the same way that Lena has her markings on her skin and Leatrice has her wings. I believe that this is your. I don't know why or
Lena
what they
gives
would
him
be.
like a death glare because she has not shown Lily yet.
Oh, has she not? I guess not.
No.
Fair. Well, he saw you, like, without them. There was the conversation about it last time. He doesn't care.
Yeah, I figured.
But also, I forgot that she hadn't seen it. Yeah, I assume that for whatever reason, those who are deeply touched by the wild magic are left physically affected by it as well, in some fey-touched kind of way, and this is hers.
We are now, I think, the most conspicuous group there could possibly be. I don't know.
Lily is sort of like brushing her tails and pauses and looks at her tails and looks at you, and then looks at Nefmir, and then looks at Lena, and then looks over at Timmy Tim and goes, "Fuck." We're weird as hell.
Well, I suppose it's not really all that different than what we were before, so.
And I do and she looks at Lena. I do like the tails, actually.
You do? You do? They look
I
really good
mean,
on you.
Thank you. No, they're beautiful. Like, they're absolutely beautiful, and they make me special, I guess. But wait, you said touched by wild magic? And Yenben sort of nods and says, "You were revived by wild magic and Lena's use of it. And I believe that has had a fairly permanent effect on you. You were returned to this plane through wild magic, and I believe that will always reside in you to some extent." And she again kind of looks at Lena, then looks at her tails, and then looks at you other three and says, "I'm magic now."
Oh God.
And she's smiling. "Oh, I'm magic now?"
You're happy about this?
Wouldn't I mean you get it. Magic is amazing.
I
You can
don't
do
get
such you can do such amazing things with magic. Look what you've done. You made us fly before.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
You can do so much. Magic is amazing. I could never do it before. I mean, Aaron tried to teach me, and I was completely incapable. And now I just can, maybe? I mean, I could fly a second ago. I don't know what else I can do.
And you have tails.
I do have tails.
it.
Though I'm not sure they're magic. I think they're just
Magically
tails.
soft.
What'd you say?
Magically soft.
Magically soft. Sure. And Yenben says, magically soft, sure.
What?
Has he felt those tails?
He has not felt the tails.
Okay, Lena has not let go of one of them.
Really?
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Okay.
They're big and fluffy, right?
They are big and fluffy.
Yeah.
Like, between all 6 of her tails, they have more fluff mass than the majority of her body.
Wow.
Yeah, she is more tail than orc now. Because someone rolled a fucking 6.
Uh-huh. Happen.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you're happy with the magic.
Yeah, me too. It's a relief. I mean, you didn't ask for it, so.
No, I didn't.
In case it comes up, I would very much like if no one gave me magic, just to make sure.
What if it means bringing you back?
That's okay. I don't mind staying dead.
Uh,
I guess if
But
you
we
really
can,
needed me, then I guess I would consider it.
I'm with Thott on this one.
You have magic.
I was going to say,
Extra magic.
oh,
Can you get extra magic? Is that something you can stack?
my God.
out of game? Yeah. Totally can.
Yeah.
It's called multi-class, and sorcerer plus warlock has very good synergy.
I bet it does. Oh my God.
Maybe Benjamin Schmidt will consider that in the future.
They both use charisma as their main spellcasting stat. It's a very, like I said, very synergetic build. I guess. I've never tried. Anyway, so,
Would that just be? Would that be more of a warserer or a sorlock?
Wait.
Oh God.
Wait. Your buddy Yenben looks over to Timmy Tim, who is still standing in the back, just sort of watching, and he's got a notepad out and he's scribbling in it. And he says,
Timmy Tim does?
yeah. And he says, my friend Timmy Tim. And he looks up and, yes! Because that's the only thing that he can do, is shout. Yenben says, would you perhaps grant us a little time alone? We have some fairly sensitive matters to discuss that you might be safer not knowing, perhaps. And he kind of frowns, like, hugely comically, and he says, "You don't want to talk with me?" And Yenben says, "It's not that. I am grateful for your watching over the temple in my absence, and what you've done to aid our friends here, and the assistance that you've given in rebuilding the town, but some things are better off not known." And Timmy Tim says, "You mean like the fact that you're a dragon?" And Yenben does a spit take. He wasn't drinking anything, but he does a spit take anyway. And he says, How did you what do you know?" And Timmy Simmons says, "I thought it was pretty obvious. You had a hoard of treasure in your room. You're a dragon, aren't you? I would assume the one that the Silver Flame's looking for, right?" And Yenben says, "Lock the door, close the door, lock the door." Oh.
Wait, when did he get in your room? We didn't let him in.
You didn't?
No.
And Timmy Tim is just sort of like joyfully humming as he walks over to the door and locks it.
I want to use my mage hand to grab his notebook that he was writing in.
Okay.
I was hoping you were going to say balls.
No.
Just grab him and squeeze him real hard. You little bastard.
Little bastard. I guess you can try. You're trying to take this without him noticing? Is that right?
Yeah, this seems like a good
Or are you just trying to snatch it as hard as you can?
What's he doing, like, in this moment?
He's locking the
closing
door.
I'll try to be sneaky about it.
All right. I guess in any case, I'll just have you roll just a spellcasting check. Just roll charisma. Holy shit.
Wow.
Let's see. Rolled a 5. I don't know how stealthy it is because he's got the notebook in his hand. It's just like a little like memo pad, right? I don't know if it's particularly stealthy because you're yanking it out of his hand, but he's not expecting a spectral hand to appear and yank his notebook out of his hand. So you grab the notebook out of his hand. He says, "Wait, hey, that's my private thoughts." And he goes chasing after it.
I bring it back to me.
Okay. He comes diving at you.
Oh my god.
Does a 13 hit?
Yes.
All right, he's got a firm hold on his notebook.
Oh my god.
Give that back! What are you doing, you thief? He looks around at the rest of you. You guys see this? Are we seeing this? Is someone recording this?
What? Like writing it down?
Yes!
No.
She's trying to steal my thoughts.
Why would I write that down? I saw it.
Well, then help me.
You know you've got a perfectly fine notebook right there that you can write that down in.
I will, once I get it back.
Wait, doesn't he have it?
I was imagining that you both had it. Like both of you have a hand on it at this point.
Like a kind of tug of war sort of thing.
That was my imagination. I never actually said that, so thank you for pointing that out. So yes, you both have a hand on it now. One of the hands is spectral. So I guess that can only exert like 10 pounds of force. So let's see what he does with an athletics check, and he gets his notebook back.
When I said it, did the hand bring it all the way back to me before he got
It had to go
tackle me?
10, 20, 30. Yeah, I suppose he did. Yeah, okay. You can roll an athletics check as well. Or not athletics, strength check.
Strength. Okay.
Okay, he gets his notebook back. He yanks it out of your hands and he sort of like brushes the papers down and says, "You mad woman!"
You know way too much that you shouldn't know.
I am very observant. And you are acting like kind of a bitch right now.
She smacks him with her mage hand, all 10 pounds of force.
Oh my god.
Do another spell casting check. All right. Plus proficiency, I'll say. He dodges out of the way of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, and he looks at Thott and Nefmir and says, "See?" And Lily punches him in the face.
Oh my god. Okay, honestly, this is quite unbecoming of you all.
Why are you not concerned about this?
Well, I am concerned, but I'm not about to, start behaving in such a way.
Yeah. See?
He's truly insane, I must say. However,
He's nodding. He's nodding. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not about to fight him. I'm not sure what we could possibly do to stop him and whatever magical means he's using to know all of these things, so I don't know. I just don't see what the use is, honestly.
I agree.
I'm fairly certain the magical means he uses is just peeking from around the corners at all times. Look, Timmy Tim.
He looks over at Nefmir, sort of like surprised, and then puts a finger to his lips.
Oh my god, this fucking guy.
Timmy Tim, I'm not gonna say. However, you do seem to have enough wits about you to know that you shouldn't disclose certain pieces of information to certain parties. And you're clever enough to exercise that kind of judgment. But I'm still gonna lay it out. Don't
He's nodding.
disclose the dragon's identity to anyone who isn't us five, I guess.
He looks at you and says, "Why would I tell anyone? This is extremely valuable information. The fewer people know about it, the more it's worth."
Okay.
Worth to who?
Yes. Listen.
Just in general.
All that worth isn't gonna do you much if you're dead. So, I strongly recommend you keep that information to yourself.
Why don't you roll an intimidation check?
Oh.
He shrinks back a little bit and says, "Yeah, I wasn't gonna. I won't do it. That's a zoop."
Have zippers even been invented? Are zippers a thing?
No, they haven't.
Oh my god.
But he knows about it.
He knows about zippers.
He knows about zippers.
He knows about zippers. So anyway,
is his mouth going to stay closed now? That would be preferable.
Lena huffs and dispels her mage hand.
Okay. He huffs and dispels his mage hand that was sneaking coins out of your pocket.
What? The joke's on him. I'm broke. Lily has all my money.
I was joking. He sits down. He keeps his mouth comically zipped shut, and he sits down.
All right, now that business is over with, what should we do now?
Well, and Lena turns to Yunben and says, "You start by telling us what you know about anything we've seen in the past 24 hours? I suppose I could start." And she hands him a pendant. "Here's Alexander."
Oh my god.
he takes it and he says, "This is a soul gem. Did you
Apparently,
did you retrieve this from Oladan's tower?"
yes.
"And Oladan?"
She shakes her head.
"I see." He looks down and, a bit sad, but not surprised, right?
Mm.
And he says, "That is unfortunate. So you said you've named the soul gem Alexander."
Well, it would seem as if there is some sort of soul in the gem.
He kind of brightens up. Some kind of soul.
Yes, and, the soul has decided to call itself Alexander.
Okay.
After his son, right?
Yes.
His son is in the gem.
Well, that's not exactly what he said. But, yes, we all agreed, essentially. That's what yes. He's
Yeah.
in there.
He, starts inspecting the gem and says, "It seems something truly awful has occurred in that tower."
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't go in there if I were you.
Oladan
Well,
has turned into some extremely twisted creature.
this actually, you see his brow kind of knot up in concern at that. Do you
Something.
explain further?
Yeah. Just explain something about what was it, experimenting with what was it, traveling planes or something like that?
Yeah, moving things between planes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were doing. I thought it was, specifically, though, the reason he turned into that creature is because his spell failed?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was it.
The second one. Little recap. Alexander was lost because of they moved a chair into another plane,
Mm-hmm.
which then overlapped with a bridge in that plane, which then brought both of them back to this plane, which overlapped with the tower and the wall, and the plane sort of auto-corrected itself by making all of them cease to exist, and Alexander was taken along with it.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that happened. And then Oladan literally lost his mind by opening a portal to the fugue plane, where he was hoping he would find his son's soul, and the soul was not there. So the spell that he was using to move Alexander into the soul gem took from his mind instead and just sort of broke him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you just explain all of that?
Yeah.
Thott
Okay.
doesn't understand it, so he can't really.
Sounds fine to me.
Or I'm not
Okay.
sure how much he paid attention to that. I did, but I don't know. He
Yeah.
doesn't.
It's all French to him.
In a way.
Yenben is listening to all of this very seriously. a very concerned look on his face. And when you finish telling the story, he is just staring at this soul gem, and he says, he always pushed things a little too far. I should have been there for him. But it is done. And what's left of him seems to be inside of this gem, but it's damaged.
Yeah,
And he shows you that there's a small crack in the gem.
I tried to fix it, but I couldn't. So Alexander said he was just going to sleep.
Soul gems are not something that you can simply fix. They are special now. However, perhaps if we... And he holds the gem in his hand and he closes his hand around it, and suddenly the gem starts to glow like it did when it attached itself to the golem. And I guess I should do this. That's funny. Okay. The gem starts to glow, and the glow expands up Yenben's arm, and you see this look of shock in his face. He's been caught completely off guard by what's happening here, and the glow just spreads throughout his entire body so quickly. And you watch his eyes kind of glaze over for a moment, and then they refocus, and he says, "Oh, hello."
Hello.
Alexander, is that you?
Yes. What is happening?
We took you to our friend, hoping to get you fixed, and I think you are now
In his body.
our friend.
He looks at his hands. He looks at Yenben's hands. He sees the gem in one of them, and he looks back up and says, "Oh no. This is wrong. Wait. Hold on. Is this a dragon?"
What makes you say that?
Because I feel, uh-oh. And he starts to kind of wince and, starts to shake a little bit, and his hand that's holding the gem kind of shakes and twists over, and the gem drops out of it. And as the gem drops out, all of this light flashes out of it and goes back into the gem. And Yenben sort of staggers a little bit and says, "Okay, so we know that now."
Oh.
Oh, I'm glad he didn't transform just then.
That would have been fun.
I was ready to take the gem out of his hand.
Oh, good. Well,
I was not about to let the dragon just destroy the temple and reveal himself.
Yes, he was, I believe, about to revert to my true form, which would have been truly awful. That was my fault, however. And he picks the gem up off the ground by the necklace, by the strap that it's connected to, and he shows you that the crack is still there, and you can see some light sort of emanating out of that crack, but it's starting to weaken again. And he says that, well, for the time being, it seems as though your friend, our friend, Alexander, is safe. And it seems as though he can take over. He can take possession of anything that touches the object, anything that touches this gem, if an amount of magical energy is inserted into it manually. All I did was put some of my magical energy into the gem, and it came alive and immediately took me over.
Well, that is bad.
Well, it is what it is. He hands it back to Lena by the chain and says, if you wish to see him again, I believe you will be able to.
Oh,
Just put some of your magical energy into it. Don't touch it. Don't touch the gem. Just push the energy in and put the gem on something. If you want it to be you, that's also okay, I suppose.
all right. Thank you. So he'll be okay as long as the gem's not damaged anymore.
He seems fine. He seems strong. He caught me off guard and he took me over, and this is... I know that as a human, my form is weaker, but not that weak.
Well, that's good. Then I guess.
Okay. Well, there you go. And in mechanical terms, you can expend a spell slot to charge this pendant.
Cool.
And depending on what you would like to have him take over, it might take a higher level spell slot. I think what I was thinking was one spell slot for a medium size, and then a second level spell slot for large, a third level spell slot for huge, that sort of thing. Yeah. But it's not a guaranteed thing either. Depending on whether the target can resist or not, that sort of thing.
All right, good to know.
Okay. And he starts to look a little bit shaky. He says, I think I'm going to sit down.
That's fair.
He goes to sit there. Please, the rest of you sit down as well.
Hold up, everything's frozen.
What's frozen?
I'm not.
What's frozen, Kim?
I think Kim is frozen.
All right, you caught up.
Oh, there we go.
So
You
after he
good?
sits down, what happens?
He asked you to sit down as well.
Oh my god. Hold on.
Seems as though our internet might be taking a hit or two.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. You good?
So he sits down and
He asks you to sit down.
okay.
Okay. Lily just sits on the floor.
Well, those like little benches have backs in them. I don't know how her tails would fit.
They don't have backs. They're just
Oh, okay.
benches. Do you sit down?
Oh yeah.
As you
Oh,
can
just right
see,
there.
I am seated.
Yes. You just sit there on the floor next to him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So he says, "Thank you for explaining that to me. I suppose it would be my turn, but I'm not sure where to start. Do you have any questions?"
What's the pact?
He breathes in very deep and lets out a long sigh and says, "Okay, questions won't work. Um,
Ah,
Well,
I
actually,
will."
I have a question.
Oh, yeah, yes.
So, how do we keep this necromancer from coming back?
Ah, a well, he was a necromancer, and now he is something much more. He is a being that is called a lich, and a lich is a creature that has abandoned life, abandoned a physical form in search of a power that cannot possibly be harnessed by a physical form. Do you understand?
More or
no.
less.
No. He looks at Lena and says, "If, for example, do you understand that a god is massively powerful, yes?
Yes.
Imagine that power like a fire in a fireplace.
Okay.
You need a very large hearth, a massive space to contain that fire. If you tried to just pick up all of that burning coal, all that burning wood, and dump it into a small home's fireplace, it would be destroyed, correct?
Yeah.
A mortal body cannot handle, it has a limit of how much magical energy that it can passively contain before it is destroyed. And through the use of necromancy, powerful wizards ages ago were able to deduce a way to just destroy themselves, but retain their core selves. They destroy their physical bodies and bind themselves to what is essentially an extremely powerful soul gem called a phylactery. And in this phylactery, it is everything that they are. It is their soul, it is their memories, it is everything that they are. And from there, they can do whatever they please. They can be anywhere that they wish. They can project whatever form that they would like. And they can largely do whatever they would like because in that form, without physical restrictions, they have very few limits on their power.
Wasn't there? There was a gem in the ranger station where he died,
I assume that there was.
but wasn't it destroyed?
I would assume that it was not. As long as that gem, this phylactery, as long as it continues to exist, a lich cannot be destroyed. That is the lich. Everything that is the lich is that phylactery, that gem. Without destroying it, you are not destroying the lich.
Well,
How can we destroy it? We tried to attack it, and it sent us.
someplace I'd like not to return to.
Yes, you told me of that. And that is when my research began in earnest. And that is why I dispatched you to Crossroad. And that is why I intervened to save you. It is because I believe when you intended to destroy the phylactery and end that lich before it began, I believe that Yergel, a god of death, intervened to stop you. And that is a very important thing.
Well, why would he even care about what we're doing? Why would he even care that we would intervene and try and
Well,
stop?
if he is the god of death, and this necromancer wants very badly to, well, reap souls, for better or worse of a term, he's the god of death. Maybe he wants more death.
Yenbed kind of nods and he says, to be honest, Yergel's ambitions are beyond my understanding. I do not know why he wishes to intervene in this way, but he has many times before. And it is largely because of his interventions that the pact was made, to prevent it from happening again.
Oh, but, well, that would mean that this pact it has been broken?
I believe that he broke the pact, and that is why I was able to intervene myself and protect you.
This is
Now, twice.
very bizarre.
He kind of looks at you strangely and says, this is the workings of the gods.
Yes, well, I am afraid I will never understand it.
Well, let me attempt to illustrate this. I will start at the beginning. He kind of straightens up and he looks at all of you and he says, I am not truly Yenben, as you may have guessed by now, as you may now understand. I am Eogilder, servant of Bahamut, Lord of Dragons. I am his right hand on this plane, his eyes and his ears. And for one short period of time, I called myself a friend and partner to a small group of adventurers. There was Stelgrim Blue Rider of the Silver Flame, Brilla Coldbeard of the Mountain Dwarves, Oladon Bafflepatch of the Baffle Patches, I suppose, and for a very brief time, Leatrice Suncup, whom you have already met. And Thott, you know the name Stelgrim Blue Rider. He is the previous holder of the Silver Flame Blade. He is the last head paladin of your order, and he is revered, almost as a god within your order. But you don't know how he died. Or maybe you do.
Mm-hmm.
You were never told how he died, only that he perished in battle. And since then, there have been no wielders of the Silver Flame.
Mm-hmm.
No chief paladins. He continues, indeed, it was Stelgrim, in fact, who was responsible for bringing me into the fold. He and his friend Brilla had set out to stem the tide of evil that had been revealed to him by the Silver Flame. They enlisted the assistance of Oladon, and eventually found their way to the Underdark, the sprawling network of caverns that lie deep under the surface. The Silver Flame had revealed unto him the nefarious deeds of a coalition of those who would do Yergul's bidding, as my lord had similarly revealed to me. We encountered each other while exploring an area controlled by these creatures in the Underdark, and Stelgrim immediately recognized my true identity through his connection to my brethren. To make a long story short, we recognized the worth of working together in this undertaking, and traveled together for the better part of 2 years as we tracked these creatures down and thinned their numbers. We had finally discovered their base of operations, but it was too late. They had already summoned an aberration from another plane, a creature of disease incarnate. We slew this creature, but the damage had already been done. An entire city of drow in the Underdark fallen to the accursed plague. And as he mentions a plague, you see Lily stiffen up and her lips draw thin across her face. And she opens her mouth as if to speak, but she says nothing. We spent the next year after that coordinating with the paladins of the Silver Flame, eradicating the infected. Fortunately, those of the Underdark tend to keep to themselves, providing a rather easy path to follow and cut off. We found the final bastion of these infected, and it was there that Yergul finally revealed his hand, fortifying the remaining infected with his power in an attempt to destroy us, those responsible for upheaving his plans. Yergul is one of the oldest of the gods, as old as death itself. As I said, his motive is well beyond my understanding, but it is clear his aim is to spread death. And his expression goes dark, and he says, typical gods, treating this realm as their possession, their plaything, doing as they see fit. In any case, we succeeded in ending the plague, The revelation of Yergil's involvement in this mass death was the spark needed to finally begin conversation in earnest amongst the gods about the constant interference over the past millennia in service of their own interests. Yergil's final desperate move, directly assisting the infected in our final battle, was the final straw that brought almost all into agreement. The pact was struck, and my Lord Bahamut arrived immediately to bring a decisive end to the final plague victim, my friend Stelgrim, who had dealt the final blow but failed to walk away unscathed.
A god came to this plane and walked it?
He did.
I know this.
He looks at you sort of inquisitively. They would not teach this at your order.
They never did. And yet It seems as though I dreamt it. But now that you've told me this, I think that perhaps the flame thought it best to show me somehow.
He smiles. And he says, I agree. Let me continue. The pact is an agreement amongst the gods to forever forbid direct intervention in this plane, the mortal realm. Gods may no longer step foot in this plane nor contact any but their most devout servants. This being said, these servants are in turn bound by the pact as well, as any action taken by the right hand of a god is as good as direct manipulation. This is where I stand in our current situation, bound to inaction. I search for a way to assist, bound as I am through indirect action, and it was for this reason that I awaited you all here in Windy Borough. Indeed, it was none other than Leatrice Suncup who bade me await your coming. I suppose explanation of the events after the pact would help clarify this. And he kind of knits his hands together and looks down at them. During our final evening together, Stelgrim spoke to me of a vision granted to him by the Silver Flame, the blade that embodies the spirit of his order. And he was shown an island to the east, at that point unknown to the world. Before the vision faded, he was able to glimpse a young half-orc man, dressed in the vestments of his order, carrying his blade, the Silver Flame. And he looks up now and he smiles at you, Thott. Imagine my surprise when I found you on the floor of the tavern.
But I don't have the blade.
You do not.
And
Nefnir reaches out and pats him on the shoulder. But you're gonna.
No, I could not wield it. I'm just an acolyte. I follow the flame, of course, as it directs, but, well, I'm just a... how could it be?
Eogilder continues staring at you and says, who is worthy of the Silver Flame, then? Those that the elders proclaim worthy, or those that prove themselves worthy?
Well, it of course it falls to the bidding of the flame itself. But well, I don't know.
Stelgrim He wondered, he thought on the meaning of this dream, why he was shown such a thing, and he came to the conclusion that he was meant to deliver the sword to this young man. He expressed his intent to leave for the island immediately after we finished with our mission. He went so far as to invite me to explore this new island with him. It was, however, not meant to be. I do believe he was correct in the intent of the vision. The blade desired to be delivered to he who would wield it next. The mission was simply not intended for Stelgrim, but a message from my brethren to me. Upon Stelgrim's death, I took the blade into my possession and set off for the island, which then had no name, making an enemy of the entire Order of the Silver Flame. They did not approve, as until then, the wielder of the Silver Flame had always been chosen by the Council of Elders. They believed that without an immediate successor to the blade, their order would suffer and flounder. Indeed, they were correct, though it is self-inflicted, a self-fulfilling prophecy of weak leadership. As you have seen, they still search for the blade all these years later. The blade and the dragon who fled with their holy treasure.
Can I
That's
interject?
why they're looking for you.
He nods. You can interject, yes?
Lena's kind of stopped paying attention a little bit, and she's doing like an inventory of everything that was put in the cart, sweating nervously. Was there any swords? I don't remember. We're so tired.
Now, yes, the sword was hidden amongst the treasure. Please bring it out to me now.
Oh my god. Did he really say that?
No, he didn't say that.
Thank God.
He continues then. Finding the island yet uninhabited by any civilized peoples, I decided my only course of action was to wait. And so I did. For almost 150 years I lived off the meager rations that I had brought with me. I found ways to stave off hunger and retain the energy that I had, but it was not perfect. I knew I had to leave and acquire sustenance. However, I could not risk bringing the blade back to the mainland, so I hid it. Deep in the swamp to the north, far enough and with enough danger to dissuade even the most capable explorers, I hid the blade atop a massive old tree. When I had acquired enough food to sustain me for another century, I returned to deposit it in my home, and there, seemingly waiting for me, was Leatrice Suncup. One final time. She informed me that I should have been waiting in a town called Windy Borough for my friends. She was concerned that I would miss them. Understanding her special perspective and how it aligned with my mission, I intended to retrieve the sword and seek out Windy Borough. But she insisted it was unnecessary, as the swamp is where he finds it, anyway. And if I would not hurry, I might miss them. And that is where she passed. In my cave near the swamp. Alone but for a dragon in exile, and with a peaceful expression. I stayed with her until the end against her urging to hurry and meet you. As it turns out, you would not arrive for another 42 years. So I had ample time to establish myself as a cleric of Paylor to a town of pioneers in the meantime. I then ignored the threat of a man practicing necromancy, believing any true threat would occur after meeting the half-orc man, as fate seemed to imply. It was the greatest mistake of my long life. That mistake has led us directly to our current situation and the end of my story. And Aelgilder takes a long drink from a cup of water to soothe his very dry mouth.
And to prep him for another spit take, should it be necessary.
Oh my god. Well, if this is fate, as you say, then... Well, then you were right not to act. Yes? Perhaps even you were bound to it?
Fate is not black and white. We are not bound to our fate so much as our choices lead us where we need to go. But in that way, I suppose, if this is the way that I needed to go, it doesn't make it any easier that my path brought such hardship and pain.
Yes, I can see it that way.
And I believe that is everything.
What do you know about Leatrice?
What do I know?
Hmm.
I know that she was, perhaps, an elven woman. Perhaps more fey now than elf. I know that she perceives herself to be an instrument of fate. She follows the flow of magic between planes, between time. And she has decided that by following this flow, she will arrive where she is needed and then continue. I know that she died 100 and almost 200 years ago, but I also know that I saw her last night.
Well, as you said, she seems to move through time.
She does. She arrived in various places during my adventures with Stelgrim and his friends, our friends. And she always did help. She arrived sometimes when we thought we needed help, and sometimes when we were confused as to her part in our current situation. But she always served a purpose before moving on. Does this clear things up?
Well,
No.
some of it, I have to agree. That some of it, well, I suppose I have more questions now about Leatrice, but I don't think that's just beyond my understanding. She is dead, but she has moved through time. But did that happen in the past, or is it still happening? You see, it's very confusing. But you've been very helpful as regards the lich, of course. So thank you.
There is one more thing that I can say. In fact, I was surprised to find the Lich. Something is wrong. He is broken. I believe that when you interfered in his ritual, I believe that although Yergel intervened to protect him from you, I believe that you did, in fact, disrupt it.
He said
He-
something about being incomplete.
He did.
Hmm.
Then my suspicions are confirmed. I believe that he is not whole. He is a fraction of what he intended to be. This form that I encountered with you last night, it is not a true lich. He is weakened. And I believe that he will, in time, find a way to fix that. Fix himself. Fix whatever went wrong. And I believe that it is of utmost importance to prevent that from happening.
Hmm.
Right now, he is a truly powerful being. But if he is allowed to complete his ritual and ascend to the final form of this lich form that he so wishes, even if I were not bound, I would have great difficulty handling the situation.
Well, I would also like to stop him. He keeps trying to kill us, after all, so that would be nice.
Lily stomps her foot on the ground and says, I would also like to kill him for a couple reasons.
I think, yes, you probably have a few.
Yes, we can't just. He does absolutely terrible things. We cannot let this continue. And if he's just a cog in a. If he's just a cog in a plan, that could only mean more terrible things are on the horizon.
Aogilder looks at Nefmir expectantly.
Is weak.
If he
That
doesn't
is
say
all
anything.
he does, FYI.
Okay. Then he looks to his left, and he looks at Timmy Tim. And Timmy Tim's eyes go wide, and he unzips his mouth. He says, "I'm not going anywhere near this!" And Eogilder looks at him and nods and says, "Perhaps that is for the best."
How could we possibly find this gem that he'd used? I think it was just gone when we returned to the plane. Well, that means it could be anywhere. If Yurgle intervened, as you say, well, he could have taken it to a different plane, couldn't he?
I believe in this Lich's current form, in his weakened form. I do not believe he would be able to project himself from another plane. I do believe it is somewhere here. Perhaps even on this island.
Oh.
But I do not know where.
Well, that's better news than I was expecting.
That is the good news. The bad news is, I have no idea where it is.
Yes. Still, a single island is better than the entire plane. Oh.
It is. But if you would allow me to make a suggestion, I believe that your fate immediately lies elsewhere.
What do you mean?
Well, if this is truly what the flame has planned, then I suppose I have to get the sword.
Oh, when you said elsewhere, I thought you were saying not this island because we were talking about this island.
No. He says, let's see. He kind of, what can I say? He nods and he says, well, I do believe that if Stelgrim received this vision, and you too have received a vision, this sword is likely very important. You and this sword are meant to join, and somehow it will be important to the success of our mission.
Well, I have to agree. As a god, the flame knows much more than I. If that is its wish, then I will follow.
He nods and says, unfortunately, Leatrice was perhaps not completely accurate in her final suggestion. I've been considering this, and though she told me to leave the sword in the swamp because that is where you find it, I assumed that you would happen across it, and it would be a fateful encounter, and I would meet you after you had it. However, that was clearly not the case, and I think perhaps I put too much faith into Leatrice's abilities. For she is ultimately mortal. I believe she knew that you would have the blade, and perhaps she knew that you got it in the swamp. And that's all she knew. And now, unfortunately, you must go find it in the swamp.
Right. So you said it was dangerous?
He smiles just a little bit. He says, "For the hero of the Silver Flame, it should be but a small nuisance."
You flatter me, truly. I'm concerned.
Between the four of you, I believe it will be okay. This is a dangerous swamp. It is full of creatures and toxins, and the way will be harsh, though there is no road. It will be very difficult. But if you hope to defeat the Lich, this should be but just another stepping stone.
Well, what do you all think of this? I have to go get this sword, and well, I'd hoped not to ask, but I suppose I will need some help. Would you accompany me?
Lily stands up and... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'd be very happy to support him.
Yeah, of course.
Lily stands up and stomps her foot on the ground and says, "A holy sword quest to defeat a lich, and I have tails. This is amazing. You are all amazing."
You could say that, yes.
And now I have my own skin in the game. I would like to make this lich suffer immensely. I am very, very interested in severely hurting this fucker. Yes.
Well, that was easy. Okay. Thank you, friends.
And Eogilder sighs and says, "I believe that you already understand this, but just to make it clear, I will not be helping you.
Of course.
And what's more, I have no further warrant to interfere again. I was able to help you because the pact had been broken. I restored balance by assisting you, and now that balance is restored, I dare not again. I will not be able to save you if anything happens."
Well, I'm glad you did what you could. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome. He seems a little bit, flustered by that. So, unfortunately, seeing as the Silver Flame is now searching for a dragon in this area, and I now have cause to believe that my name is now connected with a group of criminals in Crossroad.
Yeah.
I do believe that leaving sooner rather than later would be a good choice.
Yes. Yes, we should probably get out of here.
Ale Gilder kind of looks wistfully around his temple and says, "Yes, I believe I should too."
I am sorry.
You
What did you say, Kim?
go. Where will you go?
He says, "Well, I will go somewhere where I can blend in, somewhere where I can research. I will try to find a way to find this phylactery. Research I can do. Direct action I cannot.
Okay.
So I will disappear, and I will do what I can."
Lena takes out Oladan's scale and presents it to him.
He when he sees the scale, he smiles and says, "Oladan's scale. That will be helpful."
How exactly?
He kind of cocks his head and he looks at Lena and says, "You don't know yet?"
Out of character. Is this something you told us already? Because I do not remember.
No.
Okay.
I don't either.
No.
Actually, technically, Alexander told you a little bit, but nothing specific.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I think he just said it was the scale, and he repeated that because he couldn't remember.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Okay. Aegilder will say, "It is a powerful magical relic that has sway over the forces of gravity. Further than that, I believe it's something that you have to understand yourself."
I see. You don't wish to. You don't want this?
He considers it, but he shakes his head. "No. I believe that you will need all the help that you can get."
Well, I
I'll
hope you can figure out how to use that.
I'll take out the flower too. Does this look familiar?
He looks at it and says, "It's a flower."
No,
Okay.
It's clearly magical. Yes, I do not know what it is.
Okay.
I think we know a little bit more about that, right? Didn't we
Yes,
learn
you know what
something?
that is.
Yeah. I don't remember though. So
I'll fill you in later when
Oh,
when you
flower of the
guys.
sun goddess.
Yes. When you guys spend some time identifying these things,
Okay.
I will let you know what it is.
But yeah, we don't have to ask him because we know.
He will turn to Timmy Tim and say, well, my friend, you are now involved. So, I suppose I would ask for your assistance. I have to leave soon. And I have much to do. And Timmy Tim sort of sits up and says, yeah, sure, you got it, Yenben. Gelder. Yenben?
Yes, please just call him Yenben. We don't need anyone else to know his real name.
Oh, that's right. Yep, you got it.
Yes, that is Yenben. He is a cleric of Praetor, and he is not a dragon, and you also don't need to tell anyone that he's not a dragon.
My very good friend, not the dragon, Yenben.
No, my very
What?
good friend, Yenben. Leave out
My
the dragon
very
part.
good non-dragon friend.
No, that's exactly what I need you not to do.
No dragon attributes and no treasure.
Oh, please keep him away from anyone. I say specifically to Yenben.
Yenben looks slightly concerned and says, we're in this now.
I don't suppose it would break the pact for you to simply make him unable to speak? You could probably do that, right?
He looks at Timmy Tim, and Timmy Tim looks horrified.
Wait,
Absolutely
before you
horrified.
make him unable to speak, I have a question.
He
Timmy-
looks at Lena and looks back at Yenben. Do it now!
Timmy Tim,
Yes?
why do you know how old I am?
What?
You knew my age. Why?
I don't think I do know your age.
You did. You did.
I don't think that I did.
I think you did. She was pretty upset about it, if I remember correctly.
Maybe it was a good guess. What are you, like 35?
She narrows her eyes at him. I'd like to do an insight check.
You can do an insight check.
Oh my god.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, can't really get a good grip on him. He, kind of seems like he's telling the truth. Don't worry about it. So what? I know that you're 35 or something.
She rolls her eyes.
I know that Thought's probably like 20. Just looking at you.
Hang on.
You know people have faces?
Yes, but how old am I actually? I forgot. Oh, it's not in here. So I think I'm 19.
How old do you think I am? And he looks at all of you and his eyebrows are doing like that super good caterpillar wiggling.
Uh-huh. How old do I think he is?
I don't know. How old do you think he is?
Timmy Tim.
Can I roll intelligence for it?
Timmy Tim.
Yeah.
Let's make this more fun.
Okay.
If we can guess your age within 5 years of the actual, of how many years old you actually are, you give us one of your finest trinkets. The one that you always, always, always refuse to sell to people when their offers just aren't enough. How does that sound?
That sounds good. I'm gonna have to decide how old I am. Hold on.
Oh my god.
+1. Carry the 4. Yeah, that sounds right. Sure. I'm thinking of a number. That's my age. Go ahead.
Do we each get a guess, or are we guessing as
Sure.
normal?
You can each guess. Write down your guesses, type them in, and hit enter at the same time.
Or why don't we just, if we whisper them to you, we can't see what each other guess, right?
I mean, yeah, but you'll say them out loud anyway, so it doesn't matter. Just put them in at the same time. What were the rules? Within how many years?
He said
I had said
5.
within 5 years.
Within 5 years. Okay. Okay. Go ahead, type in your stuff. Let me know when you're ready. Yenben is watching this happen. He says, "Can we go?
No.
Time is
important.
of the essence, my friends." And Timmy Tim says, "Shut up! We're playing a game."
That was not the time for games.
You're playing the game.
Ah.
If
Are you guys all ready?
Yeah, with
Yeah.
that, I abruptly shout out my guess because I don't care about the game.
All right,
everybody-
everyone hit enter on 3, 2, 1, go.
47!
144.
I'm 45.
Oh. What? Really?
Yeah, don't I look it?
I honestly have no idea.
He looks at Nefmir and says, "Boy, and it was your idea too. You fucked up. How old do you think I am? My God, that's insulting. It's so rude. This was an honest guess too, because you wanted one of my really good items. He thinks that I'm 144.
Well, you could be for all we know. Everything about you seems to be a mystery for some reason.
Only because you're not paying enough attention. No one's ever asked me anything. No one asked Timmy Tim, how are you doing? Nobody cares.
I asked how you knew my age.
I'm homeless. I was sleeping in this temple. You saw me. No
Well-
one asks how Timmy Tim is.
Hold on a minute. You sell magical items. How do you not have a home?
No one buys my magical items. Everyone hates me.
I bought a ton of your What did you do with all the gold I gave you?
Oh, I definitely drank a lot.
Oh my god.
I don't really remember because of the drinking.
I
Well,
turned to Lily, and I'm like, how do you know him?
She gets a sour look on her face and says, "I bought a magical item from him once. He hasn't let me alone since."
Mm.
that's
I'm
how he
getting the
gets you.
impression. I was gonna say, I get the impression that you know the feeling.
Mm.
Oh, certainly. You
Did
know.
he?
No, what'd you say?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay. Timmy Tim. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have any money right now?
I have some amount of money.
Because, if you, were to purchase passage to the mainland, I'm sure you could find a lot more people that would actually buy magical items from you. People around here don't really seem that into magic, nor do they have as much money.
Now, see, that's where you're wrong, because on the mainland, there are many reputable sellers of magical items, and I am not reputable, and that's my problem.
Well, I
Look,
hate to
all
say it,
you
but
have
you
to do-
certainly are correct.
All you have to do is become this hero of the silver dragon or whatever, and you defeat the Lich Man, and you tell everyone about my magical items and how useful they were, and suddenly Timmy Tim is reputable.
Was that your plan from the start?
I think I told you that.
I don't
I'm
recall.
almost certain I told you that on our first meeting. Second meeting? Something like that.
I don't know. It's been a long, however many days. I don't even know. When did I even
been
sleep
like a-
last?
Been like less than a week.
I was in that
We haven't
cell.
We
We have not
didn't sleep last night, so
Honestly,
Yeah,
I don't
you
even
guys
know
are
how
so
I'm awake
exhausted.
right now. And now we have to leave? Oh, goodness. Well,
Oh,
let's get to it.
In any case, you know you guys did win. So, do you want the items? Because I'll just keep them.
Well, I look down at the phantom fist and I touch it with a bit of sentimentality. I suppose this has proven a bit useful. So, well, let's at least see what you have.
Let me see what I have. And he starts rummaging through his bag. So let's see. Thought you were the closest. Let me see. Let's see what I got here.
Are those eyeballs in a jar?
Nope. Anyway, let's see.
What do you mean, no?
He yanks this. He's got a small bag with him that he pulls a fairly large shield out of. And it is a perfectly round silver shield that has a mirror finish to it. And he says, "This, my friend, is for you." And he gives it to Thott.
Well, this is interesting.
It's more interesting than it looks. This is the Shield of Heroic Memories.
What?
As a hero takes it into battle, it remembers the enemies that were encountered, and you gain a +1 to your AC on any subsequent battle with creatures of that type.
I get what?
Yeah, and the events of the battle are intricately engraved into the shield's surface, which has a seemingly endless capacity for detail.
I have no idea what that means, but, thank you. I'm sure.
Now, you know what's really fun about this shield?
Eh?
Anyone who's holding the shield may also attempt to recount past battles to the shield. And these can be real battles that you had, or fake ones. You can lie to this bitch. And upon a DC 15 charisma check, the shield confers a +1 AC against the creatures described in all the tall tales.
Oh, okay.
But
I still don't know what that
three-
means.
3 failed attempts at recounting stories causes the shield to be cleared of all of its memories, though. The engravings disappear, and it reverts to its mirror finish, and all bonuses are lost.
that doesn't seem like a problem. Thought seems incapable of lying.
Oh,
But you should.
come on now.
Now let's be real here. You should. You should definitely lie all the time
Well, I'm not going to do that.
to this shield.
Well, I don't know. It's true, I'm not very good at it.
But you can try.
Thought, tell the shield about all of the fights we've had with this half-lich.
Well, I suppose I could do that.
That would be a really good idea.
It also wouldn't be a lie.
It wouldn't be a lie, but it doesn't matter if it's a lie or not. Any 3 failed attempts at recounting stories fucks your shield over.
Oh, wow.
Any 3, real or fake.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. I was very flattered that you only went 2 years over my age instead of 5 years or 100 years. And he looks at Nefmir and he looks sad.
Honestly, it was a wild guess.
99.
And he starts going through his bag again, and he looks at Lena and says, "You got pretty close too. Let's see. What do you like more? Something that's more like a utility thing. Well, I guess they're both kind of utility things. Do you want something? More, let's see, mobility or kind of mobility or making you feel real, like, energized, like real jazzed up when you're fighting."
Jazzed.
You want to jazz it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What does that mean?
And he yanks out a belt. And this belt has a huge belt buckle on it that has a big stylized image of a human face with its mouth open in laughter. Whenever a foe is defeated... Oh, well, I'm not going to say that. He's explaining it. You put this on, and whenever a foe is defeated, the wearer may activate this amulet part by tapping it twice and then delivering the best taunting joke or victorious one-liner applicable to the situation. If the jest pleases God, he rewards the adventurer by recharging up to 1d10 plus con HP. But it is a fickle god. Jokes that fail are punished with a small bolt of lightning. So be careful.
Oh.
Well, I'll certainly take it. It does seem wasted on me.
Well, then give it to someone else. How about that one? He motions at Nefmir. He's way better than either of you guys.
She motions to... She like, lifts the belt towards Nefmir. You want to give this a shot?
I'm not so sure jokes are my specialty.
You are hilarious.
You sure you don't want to keep this one, Timmy Tim?
I'll keep it if you don't want it.
Well,
Fine. Here, give me that back. Fine. You don't get it anymore. And he yanks it back. This is mine. Here. And he tosses you a bracelet from his bag. It's got a spider on it. And he says, "Now you can climb like a spider. Are you fucking happy?" Beggars can't be choosers. My God.
Should I tell him?
Oh my God.
No, it's okay. Don't tell him.
Don't tell him what.
Nothing.
Oh, he gave it to Lena, by the way.
Thank you, Timmy Tim. I'm sure someone more worthy will come across that belt.
It's me now.
I'm not the best with words, so I think it'd be wasted on me. The gods would not be pleased.
You're right. I'm extremely funny. I could use this.
You should.
He puts it on and he's like, "Okay, now I gotta fight someone."
No.
No,
No, you can fight later.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe.
I'm not going to fight you.
Well, that's a shame. And Yen Ben speaks up and says, "So, we should go."
Yes, let's get out of here.
I just want to say that with Timmy Tim's, like icon on the map always being so small. I've always thought he had a beard up until now.
No, I see. Sorry. I should get him bigger. Oh, he's fat now.
My God.
Chubby.
Boy.
Oh no. Don't make him thick. Oh God.
Thicky Tim.
Timmy thick.
Thick boy Timmy Tim. Oh, stop. Put him back.
Oh, Timmy Tim.
Put him
He's the
back.
new map.
He's the new map.
Wow. Yeah, I'm cool with making haze.
Okay. Yenben AO Gilder says, Lena, a moment, please. And he walks over and he reaches out to touch your forehead.
Okay.
He touches your forehead, and in the same way that you instantly understood the path to reach the temple, you now somehow completely understand how to get to the swamp, how to get through the swamp, and you see in your mind a perfect image of this massive, ancient, gnarled, dead tree in the middle of the swamp. And at the top of it, a big, shining sword.
Oh my goodness.
He looks at Thott and says, I thought you might not like the magic. So,
Well, thank you.
no, I should here. And he
Wait,
he
no,
walks
that's
over
okay.
and he
That's
does
okay.
it. He does it to you too.
Oh. Wow.
And Lily runs over and says, "Do me!"
Oh, that's
He
quite all right.
he gives it to Lily as well.
Oh my God.
And he looks at Nefmir and says, you map?
At this point, you might as well.
He walks over and he gives it to you too. Now you all know. Let me show you. You know. You now understand that the swamp is up here.
Damn, that's far away.
It's about as far as Crossroad was.
We can't take a ride in a dragon this time though.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Yeah, no dragons. No dragons allowed. Unless you find another dragon. You
There's
could
not
always look
even
for
a-
another.
Well, we could look,
could
for,
look for
another
another dragon.
But there's not
Yeah.
even a road that goes up there.
Looks
No.
like we can go to Haven first.
Gonna have
Yeah,
to.
there's a road that goes to Haven that you could do, or you could cut through the forest. The route that he gives you follows the road, and then extends out from Haven. But you are not bound to that. You can, knowing what you know, knowing what he gave you, you can figure out, like, just make your own way to this area here, and then when you enter the swamp, you'll be able to figure it out.
Mhm.
So you still can go wherever you'd like.
Hey, let's not go to Haven.
Did Lena say that?
It's me saying it, but yeah, Lena will suggest that we shouldn't go to Haven.
Lily, you're awfully comfortable in the woods, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Lots of camping.
Lena, why should we not go to Haven?
Because it's relatively close to Crossroad. I'm sure by the
Because
time we
you
reach
killed a man there.
I'm sure by the time we reach Haven, word from Crossroad would reach Haven as well.
You're
Besides,
probably
Um,
Silk
right.
Woods is not so bad.
Yenben speaks up and says, "If word has reached Windy Borough, those in Haven are very much aware. But they are looking for a dragon."
Well, that's true, but the Crossroad Guard is rather angry with us, I think.
Yes.
They are. Their search will likely not extend much further than Crossroad. They might come speak to me specifically because you said my name. But otherwise, they are not a strong force. They don't have that many resources that they can extend.
Hmm.
I would advise staying out of Crossroad.
Well, of
But-
course.
But Haven is likely relatively safe for you and not for me.
Look, to
But
be
if
fair,
if you are concerned, you do not have to pass through Haven.
right. Anyways, I did tell them your name before I knew you were a dragon. So, very
That
sorry
is-
about that.
That is fortunate that you did not tell them I was a dragon.
I didn't know you were a dragon. So,
But you would have told them if you knew?
no, of course not. Anyway, we should leave, now.
I agree. I will be in contact when I can, when I know something. And I will give you this. And he holds out a coin. And he presses it between his fingers, and he says a word in a very deep, throaty voice that you do not understand. And the coin glows for just a moment and then returns to a normal coin. And he says, "You can use this to contact me the way that I have been contacting you, but it will only work once. So it is a last resort. If you truly need to speak with me about something of great importance, you can use this." And he just kind of holds it out awkwardly, waiting for someone to take it.
I would perhaps one of you two would like to
Timmy
hold it?
Tim starts inching over.
Oh, okay. I guess I will take it.
Timmy Tim looks a little disappointed.
You can't have that. No. So how do we use it?
Perhaps a magic user should use it.
Right. I'll
I
just hold
think-
on to it for now.
Rather than explain how to use magic, maybe they can just do it.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was that simple.
It's okay. I mean, I'm sure that you could do it, but it would take, a bit of time to understand it.
No, that's all right. That's all right. I don't need to do magic. That's all fine.
Oh, okay. So, I guess this is farewell for now.
Yes.
Yes. Please contact us again soon. I would like to know when you have found a new place, simply for our own peace of mind.
Okay. I will let you know where I wind up, and more importantly, if I discover anything of use.
Thank you.
You don't have to tell me where you are. Just in case.
I will not tell you where I am.
You can tell the other two if you would like.
Oh, okay.
Since they
Do you think we'll head off this island?
were off of the island, why would we leave here?
No, I'm asking the dragon.
Oh,
Oh, same question then. Whoa, why would you leave the island?
no, I think he's
No,
asking.
I'm asking
Yenben
Yenben
if he's
he
going
plans
to leave.
on
Oh, if
leaving
he's
the
going. Okay, I see. Sorry about that. Uh, no, I will remain on the island. I do not feel comfortable leaving when I do not understand what is afoot. Something is happening, and I do not trust that it is limited to just the Lich. I believe that he is part of something bigger, and that is worrisome.
I see.
So, you should go. Timmy Tim and I will pack up my things and we will leave Windyboro. I will have to come up with something to tell the villagers.
He should tell them that Thott went crazy and he has to go track him down.
Maybe I'll tell them that Thott went crazy,
What?
and I have to go track him down.
What? I would never. Well, I guess it depends on what you mean by crazy. Oh,
This was a human joke.
Oh.
To lighten the ominous mood.
Right.
Good one.
Yes. We should go.
I turn
I can play some music from my statue if you'd like.
to leave the door.
I didn't know it could do that, but that's okay. We're on the way out. Thank you again. Goodbye.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm walking out the
Be
door.
safe.
I'm out of the door. I've left the temple. On.
You walk out the front door, and a number of villagers are out in the road, and one looks over and says, Hey! You're Thott! Thott's here! Hey, everybody, Thott's here!
Hello. I have to actually be going now.
A crowd starts to gather around you. Hey! Welcome back!
Oh, yes, hello. Thank you. Just passing through, though. I have important business.
Timmy Tim busts out the door. I'm here too! And they go, oh. Hey, Timmy Tim.
Well, he's not just Timmy Tim. He's magical boy Timmy Tim.
Yeah, we know.
And he's my good friend.
And Timmy Tim, he almost explodes. He starts like vibrating, and he's got his grin from ear to ear, and he looks at everyone and says, "My very best friend."
You see, he gave me this gauntlet here. I've used it in battle against our foes.
And they look at it and say, well, that's pretty good of you, Timmy Tim.
Yes, it's quite useful. I'm very glad to have met him, so that I could so he could give me this item.
He's having a real hard time keeping this up.
I'm Commander Thott, and this is my favorite magic vendor on the island.
Basically. The crowd's not buying it, I presume.
I mean, they're warming up. Like your word goes a good way. Like, you can actually roll a charisma check,
Okay.
or how about a persuasion check specifically? You're trying to sell this guy. Oops.
Oh, oops, I had disadvantage on still.
Yeah, and you still have disadvantage. Remember? Because you haven't slept yet.
Oh, shit. All right. Critical failure.
You can see that like they want to take your word for it, but you don't know the history between these people and Timmy Tim, but they do. So there's no big change. Well, that's very good of you, Timmy Tim. But he doesn't even notice, anything like that. He's just ecstatic that
God
you would
damn
say
it.
things like this.
I only said that to try and get them to be enthralled with him so that I could leave.
He takes your hand.
Hello.
From somewhere back in the temple, you hear music start playing.
How?
Yenben turned on his music player in the statue.
Really? You're making this canon?
I already did.
Oh my god. Oh god.
Timmy Tim, let us not forget our obligations. You have to help the good cleric, of course, right?
Oh yeah, he's leaving and we need to pack up.
Oh, you should not have said that.
And the crowd just goes insane. Like, wait, hold on. What? Whoa, where's he going? Wait, again? He was just gone. What's going on?
Timmy Tim, get in the temple.
And Timmy Tim leans over and says, "Go out the back window, you dumb motherfucker."
Oh my god.
And Yenben comes to the front door and he starts trying to settle down the crowd, and he kind of motions with his head toward the back of the temple and starts talking them down and explaining himself.
That goes back in the temple.
The music's playing.
It is. It is playing.
Here, can do this
Gonna
one.
get out the front door, huh?
No, apparently not.
We going out the back?
Yeah, yes.
I'm in favor of that.
Okay.
Is Lily gonna be able to get out through the back?
Yes.
Why?
The back door or back window?
There's a door.
Oh, okay.
There's a
Over
door?
tails.
Yeah, there's a door.
Why didn't we use the door?
It was locked, but I don't think he ever actually checked.
Okay.
Well, 'cause the door in the back of the temple, or is the door in his personal room?
In his personal room.
What? I thought there was just a window.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
yeah.
Thought there was a door. All right, there's just a window now.
I also thought there was just a window.
Okay, there's just a window now. You have to go out through the window.
Right.
I'll help Lily with all of her tails. Shove them through the window.
Okay.
I think
You
that's
shove
just an
her tail
excuse
through the
to
window,
touch
and she
them.
flops out the window because you pushed her out the window. All right, you all go out the back window.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Are you going to head out west toward Haven? Are you going to go or north through the forest? Right now, you're on the north side of town,
Right.
but it would be, easy enough to just circle around to the road, depending on what you guys want to do.
I like forests. Or
The
I
music
should say
fades as you go somewhere.
Lena likes forests. So she would vote for that.
Anyone else? Lily's good with whatever.
I also think we should head through the forest. Find a nice place to camp for once.
Yeah, I need to go to sleep.
Okay. So then you just head north into the woods, heading vaguely northwest. It is still bright and early in the morning. So you could sleep now, but it would be a very weird situation then, more traveling at night sort of thing, when you can't see at all in the forest.
Hmm.
Let's push a little bit and go to sleep early.
I guess we
Okay.
could just start hiking northwest. And then just, I don't know, find a spot in the early evening.
Okay. All right, so I said we would end early today, and this seems like as good a place as any to end early.
I think so.
You guys good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So today was basically just a lore bomb plus Timmy Tim and Lena having a fight.
Yes.
Good job.